Biggest Loser or something like that, where this community walked this many more hours a year and lost this many more pounds, and that's kind of how it started. Through the Chamber of Commerce, the Tualatin Chamber of Commerce, there's a number of different businesses, mostly small businesses, but not completely small. Our current chair for Fit City is actually a public relations liaison from Legacy, Meridian Park. And we just started collaborating on what are ways that we can encourage people to pursue a healthier lifestyle.
Some of these partnerships have come out, like the Fit City. We also did some of our own challenges around here with our employees, a number of community education classes. So I think continuing to work together and to look at how we can combine some of our resources has been very instrumental in making Tualatin a more healthy community.
And speaking of healthy eating, this year saw a record attendance of the expanded Tualatin Farmers Market.
Last year alone we had over 900 volunteer hours from community members. We had 5 different organizations within the community supporting the market. In addition, we also had city staff who would drop by almost every week, the operations department, and say, hey, how's it going? What do you need? Does the electricity work? So we have had such incredible support from the city of Tualatin, as well as 30 plus volunteers that it took to put on the market this year. It's funny, another part of the vision for Tualatin Tomorrow, people said that they were looking for a sense of community within Tualatin, a place to gather. So the farmers market provides, I think, a great place to see your neighbors. And I think that the ability for people to connect with friends and connect with community and know that they're a bigger part of something really contributes to a healthy, happy community.
The financial and in-kind support of nearly 20 sponsors made this a reality in Tualatin. Another signature event of the city of Tualatin is the Tualatin Arts Splash. This is a partnership between the city, the Arts Advisory Council, and scores of local artists. They annually produce a weekend art show at the Commons, which attracts hundreds of folks who admire and purchase the multitude of art media available. We also partner with Loaves and Fishes and many more volunteers to operate a thriving Juanita Pohl Community Center. Originally a senior center built over 25 years ago, the Pohl Center has evolved into an adult and family center offering lunches, programs, entertainment, fitness and education to seniors and more. We also stage our daily volunteer-driven Meals on Wheels from the Pohl Center. And this year, thanks to a federal grant of nearly $450,000, the Pohl Center is being expanded and enhanced, and construction is slated to be completed this spring. Another key partner is the Tualatin Heritage Center and the Tualatin Historical Society. Now, the Heritage Center houses precious artifacts of Tualatin's natural and community history. But beyond that, the center is a thriving locus of activities ranging from pioneer days for elementary schoolers to a theater for our local performing arts, frequent presentations by historical experts, a headquarters for the Tualatin Historical Society, and a community meeting room for a long list of users. It has been a very successful public-private partnership. Recently, the Tualatin Historical Society and the Chamber of Commerce successfully secured 2 grants for the promotion of tourism through the unique findings in Tualatin from the Ice Age.
So we have an area that is rich in Ice Age documents and hills and valleys and rocks and ancient animals. So we have an opportunity in Tualatin that nobody else has to tell this story about the Ice Age. Thank goodness for the kids with the dinosaur interest. It's caused people to become interested in something that's been undiscovered for a long time.
These grants are being used to develop that tourism plan. So look for Tualatin to be a tourist destination in the coming years for Ice Age wonder. I'm very pleased and proud to tell you about a citizen-based, city-supported initiative that was implemented in Tualatin this past year. The Citizen Involvement Organization was conceived and developed by a group of avid neighbors who wanted to improve communications and participation between neighborhoods and city government.
The Citizen Involvement Program, or CIO, is basically neighborhood associations, and neighborhood associations are prevalent in many, many cities in Oregon. The skeleton of a CIO is basically it's a communication system. It allows neighbors to talk to neighbors more easily, and it allows citizens then to interact with their government more easily. Tualatin values its citizens, and I have come to appreciate and understand that the greatest asset of Tualatin is not our buildings, it's not our jobs, it's not our roads, it is us, it is the citizens. That is our greatest asset. And as we're moving forward, planning our transportation system, planning for future jobs, I hope that the Tualatin government and the CIOs and the members of those CIOs put the primary focus on the impact on citizens and not on the infrastructure.
The community means everything. It's the backbone, the soul of a neighborhood. And you can't have anything happening, just growth, 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 if you don't have an ambiance and a character to the areas that you live in.
Any organization that was there primarily to enhance communication between the city and its people, if we can help them get a better pulse, they can better government and get it right. It's a nice circular relationship that I think benefits all. So I was a huge believer in that and want to be behind that all the way.
These folks are spokespeople for their neighborhoods to the city and to the city council. And they also serve as a distribution network for disseminating information, plans, programs, and requests for input from the city to the neighborhoods. The efficiency and effectiveness of our city is due in no small part to your city staff.
The city staff, first and foremost. Without them, every time we come in and have a request, they happily help us out, and we couldn't do this without the city staff.
I had a branch fall that out of nowhere last week, and I called the city at 9:13, and I tell the gals, I said, you watch, we'll have a truck here in less than 30 minutes, and they laughed. Well, at 9:20, it was ridiculous. A truck rolls up. And I go out and I say, hey, I'm so glad you're here. And the guy goes, oh yeah, we always, I was nearby, I want to get it taken care of, it was dangerous, blah, blah, blah. And, and I kidded with him that we can get service from the city quicker than you can get a pizza.
In government, you're doing so many different things. And so people are accessing you at various points for various services. And so the staff in any governmental entity has to be very nimble, very quick, very clever. And I would say, and I've said that many times, that they're the best and the brightest. These are folks who don't get lots of kudos for what they do, and yet they're the first line of any problem, they're the last line of any solution, and it's a very necessary service that they perform, and I think that we need to say thank you often, and that we appreciate their service.
We are fortunate to have 139 experienced, dedicated, and extremely knowledgeable folks working for you. They hold themselves accountable to make sure Tualatin performs at the highest levels and gives you the most value for your tax dollar. So what really makes this community a great place to live, work, and play?
Tualatin has good leadership at the community level, at the government level. They're all approachable. They listen.
It's big enough to have plenty to do, but small enough to feel like it has its own identity.
I feel like this is a time where we're coming together to really shape what the next 20 years are going to look like.
It's been the last few years that this sense of community has been evolving, and people have been becoming more active in the civic affairs of their city, and I think that's only a good thing.
Well, there's a great reservoir of good community feeling here, and I think we just have to tap it and work with it.
What truly makes Tualatin the greatest city south of the North Pole is you. And thank you for all that you do.